This next one is from Tucson, Arizona. Carol, there it is. What's happened to parents taking responsibility for their own son party crashing and purchasing alcohol? Talking about the Jones family there. How dare they sue a family who never invited the boy who was killed several blocks away? Do they think money will bring him back? We've had a lot of emails like that, but there is something called the open house party law in the state of Florida. I want to go to our guest, Stephen DeCastro. He's a civil attorney. It seems, Stephen, that they might have been guilty, the De La Rosiers, whether they meant to or not, of violating this open house party law by having alcohol served to minors there. That's what that law says. But is that necessarily a chain of causation to this boy's death?
Well, see, the thing is, I think that the hardest part of the plaintiff's case is the issue of, as you say, causation. Like lawyers always talk about causation, but it's an easy concept. Even if you prove that somebody did something wrong, you have to still prove that that wrong thing that they did actually caused damages to the plaintiff. Now here, and I think that teenager who emailed in stated correctly, that even if there was wrongdoing at the house, even if the parents condoned drinking, underage drinking at the house, you have to say that that drinking, that alcohol, caused the death of Adam Jones. And I think that's the weakest part. Actually, the toughest part, though, is the weakest part of the De La Rosiers case is that they keep claiming that they didn't know about this underage drinking. Now, if that was the case, they were the only people in the entire neighborhood. There were only the three adults who should be controlling the drinking. They're the only ones in the whole street who don't know there's drinking going on.
However, Stephen, there's been lots of testimony that these young boys, on both sides of this fight, and both of these posses, so to speak, had bought alcohol for themselves and had already been drinking it before they even came. So let me ask you, Charles Schechter is here with me, a former prosecutor with the Brooklyn Gang Unit, I might say, now in private practice. Why, let's go back to that question that the defense attorney raised on the telephone. Why was there only one person taken to trial and then ultimately convicted, this United States Marine?
Well, I don't know the facts, specific facts of what witnesses said or what they saw.
Right, but it must be hard when there's a melee like
It's always
this.
hard, but you always, if you knew the identities of the people who were there, you can always try to prosecute each and every one of them. The cynical point of view is that the district attorney's office in Florida made a conscious decision to only try the person that they felt they can win.
Well, because he was the last one seen going back to the unconscious Adam Jones in the street after the rest of the gang had walked away. He came back to deliberately kick him some more.
And under the law, if it's called acting in concert, if a group of people are acting together for a conscious objective, and they each do some type of part in this to reach this conscious objective, they all can be guilty of the crime. In a case such as this, they could actually have charged each and every person who was involved in the fight with the same crime that they charged Mr. Ackland.
Why do you think they didn't?
Like I said, the cynical point of view is that it's about statistics, and you try 6 people, the jury lets 5 out, 1 gets convicted, it's less than 20% conviction rate.
You go with the sure bet.
You know, Charles, I think that with the Ackland conviction, that almost makes it worse for the plaintiffs, because Ackland showed up at the party almost at the last few minutes of the party, same as Jones. The other people who were part of this fight might have been at the party for some time longer, and so if longer, maybe they could have showed up more of a causation from the party to the fight.
Right. It was interesting, too, to note yesterday, I know we have to take a break, but I have to mention this, that Mrs. De La Rosier was at the corner outside her house waiting for the police because she'd already called and saw Derek Ackland and said, no, you can't come in. And she actually held him at bay for a while, but there was a whole group and she was unable to keep him out. All right, after a quick break, we'll move to the closing arguments in this case as plaintiff's attorney Jack Orsley sums up the Jones family case. Stay with us.